Enjoy, fellas. Enjoy.
This looks like the beginning of the Brady Bunch.
You know, you can say we are a Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
The Brady Bunch.
So, how you doing, man? Kevin Koken, what's going on?
Not much, Wolf. How you doing?
Doing good. Got a little delay. We got to sit there. We're going to make sure we don't talk. Your Stills, how are we?
Yeah, good. How are you?
I'm doing good, man. You get ready to eat? There at the Tap House? Yeah.
Yep. How you guys doing? You guys enjoying your time?
We got bees down here. We got oh, there's Major. Okay, Major, how we doing?
I'm doing all right.
All right. Hey, Beast, here you come, man. I know you like to watch this every week.
The highlight, baby. Oh, what? Oh. All I remember is the turf burn from that play.
You were on the ground.
I got MERS before it was MERS.
I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
My name's James Mitter, and I'm from Bethel Park, Pennsylvania. And when I'm back home in the Pittsburgh area, you can find me at my local farmer store.
We had that golden pride at Parmar. There are literally hundreds of Parmar stores in West Virginia, Kentucky, Ohio, and Pennsylvania, and even more on the way. Download the Parmar app to save even more. And whether it's food, gas, groceries, or whatever, we have you covered at Parmar. West Virginia proud and ready to serve you.
If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be soon.
Where the true gold and blue faithful go for the best in beer, burgers, pizza, wings, and more? It's the Mountaineer Tap House on the Evansdale campus. Mountaineer Tap House features well over 40 craft beers on tap, plus the best appetizers, salads, burgers, wings, pizza, and tacos the University City has to offer. Enjoy their exclusive craft cocktails, too. Dine on the balcony or chill out inside with walls and walls of TVs. Follow Mountaineer Tap House on social media. Mountaineer Tap House, second floor above the Parmar store on the Evansdale campus.
And hello and welcome to Mountaineer Legends Pregame for the Mountaineers to face off against the Texas Tech Red Raiders. Yes, we are here with some legends. We got some old legends and we had some new legends, which is very cool in the mix. And we should have some others joining us. We have Big Bad Brian Joswiak. We have Darius Stills. We got Aaron Beasley, who's just ready with all kinds of football knowledge that he wants to drop. And we have Captain Koken, captain of the national championship team that we lost to Notre Dame. And, of course, Major Harris, who played for about a quarter. So, all good things, man. It's a great teammates. Great to be here. We're going to have some guys in, some guys out. But, hey, Joe's, let's talk about this, because this is the WolfMan and Joe's Thunder Legends pregame show with all these great legends. How are you doing today, and where are you, and what's going on?
I'll tell you what, Wolf. Right now, I'm in the place that I want to be. I'm in Morgantown, West Virginia. Now, I mean, I'd rather be sitting out there in Lubbock watching that game, but we're going to be with the Mountaineer fans. We're here at the Tap House. So come on out and join us if you're out there watching this thing, man, because we're going to have a great time. Great legends in the house, old and new legends, like you said. I should say younger legends, but a legend in and of itself. Mr. Stills in the house. This is great. And Bees and Coke, I love you guys. Mage, always a pleasure. And Wolfman, you are the man, and we're ready to talk some game day football, man. I'm so chilled up right now. I can't tell you. I mean, just being able to be around Mountaineer fans and you know, right here, man, right next to the stadium, man. Are you kidding me? Right next to the stadium. This is great. I'm in heaven. Well, almost heaven anyway.
I love how excited you are, especially with the teams like 2,000 miles away. But that's okay, man, because it always brings back the good memories. And do me this, though. What's going on today at the Tap House? Now, we just started the broadcast, but this is just the very beginning.
Oh, this is the tip. This is the tip of the iceberg. We're in the house. All these guys are right here in the house, here at the Tap House, and we're going to be here for the watch party all day long. And what we're doing is right after we're done with our live stream talking and breaking down Texas Tech, we're going to be here live talking to the audience. We got it all set up. We got some good stories coming there, and we're going to talk a lot about Texas Tech and the State of the Union and everything that's going on here in Mountaineer football. You know, it's Mountaineer football legends talking Mountaineer football. Every one of these guys that's in this frame right here, right now, has been in the trenches, has been in the battle. We know what it is to be Mountaineers. And that's what we need today. We've been talking all year long about playing Mountaineer football, baby, playing Mountaineer football. And we saw that last week. And what happened, baby? We got a big win. And now on the road, both teams are evenly matched, man. 3-3, 1-2 in the deal, and we got to get it going. Today's a big game for us to shake that monkey off the back that we've had with the Texas Tech battle and get on the positive side, but more importantly, get that on the road victory in the Big 12. To me, this is a must win. So I'm anxious to watch the game with all these folks here. And again, we're going to be live from 1:30 right on the kickoff. Come on up, these guys. Hey, man, we'll take pictures and sign stuff if you'd like that. And we're available to hang out. We're going to watch the game. And, hey, baby, it's a party at the Tap House, Wolf.
Okay. Well, I'm glad you just took a breath because that was long. Okay, but you did give a lot of information. Really happy to have you. Hey, we want to thank, first of all, our great friends, Parmar Stores. They just added their 201st store, adding about 19 more before the end of the year. They are all over 5 different states. And you know what? If there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon. In fact, there's one right underneath you there, Joe's.
That's right.
House there in Morgantown. So thank you, Parmar Stores. Thank you, Mountaineer Tap House, for this whole day, this whole event. Now, moving on, as I catch my breath, those Darius Stills, man, consensus All-American, the latest one. Young man, how are you, sir?
Hey, I'm great. I can't complain at all. Enjoying game day. It's always good to have game day, so I can't complain.
Now, the great thing about having you on is that you've actually played Texas Tech.
Yeah. Oh man, playing them. We always have this game circled on the calendar because they run the fast tempo offense in the league. Honestly, I think in the nation because we play out of conference games and stuff. And you were like as a D line, as an offensive lineman, that's good because you get to wear somebody out. But as a D lineman, you can't substitute, you can't call timeouts. So it's honestly a disadvantage. But at the same time, we got the weapons on our end, defensive side and offensive side. So I feel like we'll have a good shot to be able to control that tempo.
Yeah, we're going to get into it. We're going to break it down. We're going to have a little bit of video going on. And I want to bring on our first-timer as well as Darius is Kevin Koken, graduated 1988. I got to tell you, the first story I have about you was 1987. Major second game he was starting, Ohio State, 1987. And I forget, I was rotating him with Bobby Kovac. And I was a freshman. You were a junior. And we had a TD timeout in the end zone at Ohio State. It was right where the horseshoe was. They had the stands right there, the aluminum bleachers right at the one end of the end zone. And I come in and I'm like, I'm just like, this is it. This is my second game. First one was against Ohio U. This is against the Ohio State. And the first thing I did come in and you said to me, don't you bleep up. All right. And I'm saying 1987, wide-eyed coming in. Thank you for your support. Coke, how you doing, brother?
I don't remember it quite that way, but so we'll go with what you remember. You know, Dale, the funny story about that, 4 years or 3.5 years before that, my first game against Penn State at Penn State, and we it was like the third series, and we weren't moving the ball real well. I got in, I was recovering from an injury, and we started moving the ball really well. Jolliffe. Joe's, there's a name from the past, right? So my face mask, pulls me in, says, we're moving the ball, don't up. Right? And I'm like, just get away from it. Call huddle. We run a play. Next play. So Chuck, and again, Joe's knows him so well. Chuck, I better go pick Coke up. So it's a TV timeout. He puts his arm like, hey, Coke, what do you think about them cheerleaders over there? And I'm like, just get away, stop talking to me. Let's play football. So I remember the exact story you told, but I guess I was paying it forward.
You were definitely paying it forward, and you made me a little nervous. All right, but I've forgiven you a long time ago. And with that, I'm going to move on to Mr. Hopefully soon to be Hall of Fame collegiately, Mr. Aaro. Hey, guys, we're talking to you. Don't worry about who's out there. Okay, focus it on here. Yeah, just like you used to do on those footballs when you got those interceptions. All right, keep it here. Mountaineer Legends Pregame. Drop some knowledge on me, brother.
What do you want to know?
I want to know what game day is to you, Texas Tech.
Never played them, but I just know, game day as a football player is, it's the test from the work you put in all week. If you studied your film, if you recognize tendencies, because remember, I think we talked about it last week. Like a lot of our keys to the game were pivotal, the turnovers, the communication. We talked about holding on to the ball, making plays when they're making plays, turnovers. It's like the same thing every game, but you just have to be consistent at it. And it's the next test, and it's going to be a harder test. And, you got to come out there. And I think of football more like chess, where each individual piece has to do his job at 100%. So it was like, this game is going to be about that. It's going to be about technique. It's going to be about making plays and making interceptions. I think what Phil said earlier is important, because a team that plays fast, we got to find ways to make plays. We have to be scrappy. We have got to scrap that ball out of there, rip it out of their hand. If we're not going to get interceptions, let's call some fumbles. Do something. Change the momentum. That's how you got to play.
Yep. There you go, man. And let's move on here to Major Harris at quarterback. Page going in there. It's a little bit windy there down in Lubbock. But in reality, it's not too bad, because they throw the ball 40-plus times a game. So what are you thinking about going in there down to Lubbock? Maybe get a tortilla thrown on your head. What's your game day mind frame?
Well, I think I'll match them in points. I just think if the secondary can show up and get us not a couple, a few big stops, I think we can go in there and get a win.
Yep. Very good. Okay, so let's get into this now. Let's talk about this Texas Tech Red Raider team. But first, before we get into it, let's go over what we did against Baylor. And Darius, I want you to jump in on this, because, again, you played the Baylor Bears. You know how tough they are. You know what they bring. And the Mountaineers, although it wasn't a perfect game, on all sides of the ball, including your brother on special teams, man, with Dante, they brought it all together, and they complimented each other in each phase of the game. And so, Tucker, what did you see against Baylor about this Mountaineer team that maybe you didn't see at Texas?
I saw the true Mountaineer culture. It goes to the hard work, blue collar mentality. So, like that game, it was a close game, and could have given up. Offense kept scoring, but we kept on playing. And again, what we got to do today, playing and try to offense.
Yeah, dude. Hey, Joe, let's go back to you, man. What do you think about what you saw at Baylor? And the team just kept fighting and fighting. There were times when I thought that they could have nosedived. There were times when they could have come out and said, you know what? Maybe this is Texas again. Maybe we're just not who we are. But they didn't, man. They come out fighting. And D, I'm going to keep this at Joe's. I want to tell you, man, what Dante did last week and his leadership, it was huge. They struck out. Joe's, I know you wrote about that, in your report that you gave after the game about how big Dante was of an inspiration for the Mountaineers.
Yeah, he put all of his pieces together. Especially in order to win a game, you got to play special teams too. And I had a few blocked field goal. I had a couple of those. And once you step up on special teams, it's really start to win. Because what separates these teams now, it's not so much talent, it's little details. Who decides to buy in on whatever they're doing. There's kids that come in, haven't played a down special teams in their life until they got to college. So it's a big adjustment for them. And they really don't know how to embrace that or really, I say, just buy into that. So we bought in, and we know, and it really set the standard for us because now we know we can do it. So we just need to be able to do it more consistently because these teams around the conference and the country, like I said, they're all talent. We're all the same talent, but it's all about who stays most consistent and who decides to capitalize on it. So, I'm excited.
All right, Joes, can you hear me? Joes, can you hear me? Yep.
Connection issue.
Yeah. Go ahead, Joes. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I got you now. You now. Just a minor malfunction, but we're good.
All right. Are we good? Are you sure we're good?
I'm great.
I don't know if you're good, man. Okay, so going off what Darius just said and going into what you saw as a leader, as an inspirer, what did you see with that Baylor game that made you give you the idea that this team's fighting around Neil Brown and that staff and fighting for each other as teammates and fighting for the and fighting obviously for themselves? What did you see?
No, what you just said right there, fighting for each other. That's the big piece, is when I'm fighting for my brother and I know that I can trust him and he can trust me and we can fight this battle together. The formula never changes. And we all learned, well, obviously Mr. Stills learned from, the modern era. We learned from the Coach Nealon era. And, his philosophy was quite simple and it never changed, if you guys recall. 80 slugs, never look at the scoreboard, 100% every play, do your job. And when the dust settles, if you follow that, you got a real good opportunity to win the game. And what we saw last week was simply that. Like you said, Wolf, there were times that we could have thrown in the towel and dumped our daubers and had issues, but we overcame that adversity because you got to have that short-term memory. They forgot about the previous play and they went to the juice for the next play and the next play and the next play. And we talked extensively about it last week in the pregame about the turnover ratio. When you're +3 on a turnover board, you got a great opportunity to win the football game. And that's out. And the special teams aspect, special teams are game breakers. That blocked kick and the return back for the 2 points, that is enormously huge. A defensive score, another big giant play. But when you're waiting to make a play, and let's use Dante as the example. He doesn't wait around for somebody else to make a play. He busts his butt to make the play. And it ain't always about the stats. It's about doing my job, making the play. If I do my job, then the guy behind me gets to make the play. But we all made the play. And that's what you saw. You don't wait around. You step up and you get it done. And it was so exciting to see all that. We scored on the first possession. That was huge. Shoved it right in their face. We did a heck of a job on the line of scrimmage. I mean, if I'm not mistaken, that big old nose guard that we've been talking about being all this and all that, I think they drug him off the field, and he spent the rest of the game on the sideline. Zach Frazier and the guards beat him up, and he went to the sideline. So, we outmanned them up front. We really did. I mean, we shut down their running game. We had a running game. I mean, it was just a thing of beauty. And most importantly, we got the W.
Yeah, you got the W. Very, very good. Koken, we did get the W. It did put the Mounts back to a 3-3, 500, if you will, for the rest of the season. Now it's their turn to make a move. What did you see in the Baylor game that inspired you to hoping that they will go ahead and turn the corner with this win? Being that it's a Big 12 win, it's speed, it's bigness, it's winning in the Big 12, which is where you have to win every week and bring your A game every week.
Yeah, not different from what everybody else said. When you think about it, right? Win the turnover game. In the trenches, the guys never stop fighting on Buzz. The difference maker. I think in some of the earlier games, that didn't necessarily let down. They just didn't know how to push harder and farther. And last week, or maybe in the off week, they figured out how to, and it showed, because every time something went a little bit bad up front, got a little bit tighter, got a little bit more punch in the nose, and we're able to create some big stops on defense.
Yeah,
that's a great team.
Paige, what's your thought? Major's frozen. Okay. Bees. Go ahead, man. Major's frozen.
You got him, Bees.
Go ahead, Bees.
Well, the Baylor game, it was a game of who makes the last play, really, and there was a lot of plays that, changed the momentum, a lot of plays that we should make on defense. But one thing that does scare me, I mean, I'm being honest, the quarterback was throwing a lot of passes on our defense, and we know the next team, Texas Tech, is going to throw the ball. Even though they do run, they're number one in passing, they're top 10 team in passing. So we're going to have to clean some things up. I'm always the guy that, I remember the bad plays, because you learn from the bad plays. I don't really focus on the good plays, because you should make them. But I just want to clean up some coverages. Hopefully we play a little more inside leverages if we're playing our cover threes, because there were guys running down the field, and it kind of scared me. If that quarterback didn't get hurt, it could have been ugly, because he was throwing the ball around on us. And we just got to clean it up, because it's going to happen the rest of the year unless we clean it up, just like the last time against Kansas.
Hey, Bees, what do you say if Shapen would have gotten hurt? They threw for 421 yards. I mean, it's not like that he went out, like that didn't stop. But what you have there is you have young defensive players. You're looking at a Jacoby Spells. You're looking at Aubrey Burks. You're looking at a Davis Mallinger, and then a couple of guys that transferred in their first times, Marquise Floyd, and Ajay. These guys have just transferred in, so the secondary is not as cohesive as you would like. That's for certain. So it's not as cohesive. And again, I think, why are they just being so much free released?
That's
run.
You were going right to my next topic. I was just about to say, everybody runs down the field free. I mean, we can't just allow guys to run down the free and expect our pass rush to get there. All of that is coordinated, because the more we slow them down, the more our defensive line can get upfield and cause the pressure. Now, if you got guys running down free, you stress your safeties, And at the same time, you're stressing the underneath coverage because they don't know whether to play deep or short. So there has to be some kind of like connection where we gotta jam people up. We gotta slow these guys from running straight down the field on us.
Yep, there's no doubt. Darius, let's get to you now. And so you see that, and you see an offense that's just throwing the ball like crazy. How are you? As your mind is thinking, Jordan Leslie is the defensive coordinator, how are you going to try to disrupt this quarterback to go ahead and make a difference so you can stop this passing game where they're throwing for 365 yards on average per game?
I would say you're kind of getting it's kind of a two-way sword there. So so the game's still faster than I'm trying to tell the older guys, look how much everybody I'm tell it, but they got a lot of with our key room being we can't support defensive linemen because we need help on the back end. Really in order to be able to apply more drop 7 instead of 8, but also if we drop 8, then we're honestly I say because Dante, Jordan, Warren, they can all get to the quarterback, but about how much time the quarterback to throw the ball. That's also the DB's job, but also it's all we can get to the quarterback. But if we get to the quarterback, the DB can rest a little bit on that play. In football, the DB room is they're very young. I mean, they're freshmen, sophomore years old. Nick here and Marcus that came in, and they're trying their best to lead. But at the same time, they're faster than them too because they came from the FCS. It's obviously a different conference between the FCS and FCS. Trying to adjust in the back end. So I would say really play complementary football. It's fast. It's faster than I remember my freshman year. Whenever the game was literally just, and I was. But as the rep season comes, you get more. Nobody's get better as the years go on. But just at this moment, we got a young DB room and they need to just develop.
Yeah, no doubt. And hey, listen, we've all been there. We've all seen it really fast. We've all had to adjust, and it takes some time to adjust. So when you go down there and you're seeing Xavier Worthy running out there and is free and they're young, and man, that's some scary stuff going on because that's a deer in headlights. You blink and then he's by you. Yeah, so exactly. I think that it was better with Baylor. But even with Baldwin there, I thought that they reacted better. So, again, they have like 8 receivers that Texas Tech uses, a tight end as well. And they go ahead and, what the crazy thing is this. They have 6 wide receivers with 200 or more yards receiving. 6. They have 8 receivers with double-digit catches. And they have 8 receivers with an average of 10 yards or more. I mean, this is pitch and catch to its best. And what do you think about that?
Sorry, and that goes with them throwing the ball 40-plus times, had the top offense in the country, like stat-wise, because they've run so many plays. That's the yard. It looks good on paper, but at the same time, you got to think, all right, the tempo, they run a fast offense, they the game. So it's all just what goes into that, but you can't sleep on that by any means. Is what I'm saying. Take into consideration that any team can be stopped, especially Texas Tech. We just gotta just be able to, instead of letting them that tempo get hold and get going.
Yeah. Now, hey, here's a point I want to bring up. And Bees, I'm going to go back to you and then Joe's, Bees, Koken, and then Joe's. But Bees, so listen, here it is. They have almost 500 yards per game average. They are throwing the ball all over, chucking it, pitch and catch, but they're only scoring 34 points per game. This offense, this Texas Tech offense, that seems to be, no matter how many head coaches they have, whether it's Cliff Kingsbury, whether it's Matt Wells, or it's Joey McGuire, no matter what, they have this tempo, throw the ball. But when you get down to the red zone, the field gets a little bit smaller, gets a little bit tougher to score.
Sir. And the sign of not giving up big plays. You know, when you think about the game in percentages, I mean, you have a 10% chance of having a 80-yard drive. I know this because Tom Coughlin used to nail these stats in our head every week. But, I mean, the percentages of driving a whole 10-play, 7-minute drive, they're not looking for that. They're looking to make big plays. And if we just limit that, once they get into that plus 50 range, now we tighten up, make them punt, but then it becomes a game of field position. And then, you know, a lot of it sometimes has to deal with the offense as well. They have to be a good friend of your defense. You know, we got a great running game. Let's keep that offense off the field. Let's make them sit on the sideline with those same drives that I'm talking about, the 10-play, you know, like that last Eagles drive against Dallas, you know, 15 plays and run it 12. Yeah, 15 plays, run it 12 times, take up 7 minutes. You eat up the clock. You make it a shorter game. You give us a chance to win at the end.
All right, hey, Coke, that brings up the subject. It just pops in my mind. I like how it does that. But you're a logistics guy where you work, and you're a time management guy. You know, when working this, Bees brings up a great point. Is like, hey, the best defense against Texas Tech's offense is to be on the sideline.
Yeah, absolutely. So, you know, offense, well, you know, think about it. They average almost, I think it's 9 tackles for loss on defense. Let's get some quick hit pressure. Let's stop them fast on those big receivers, hold them up, and then let's get over on our side of the ball and let, right? You know, between Mathis and Donaldson coming back, we got a great opportunity to pound out and, you know, 3, 4, 5 yards of crack every play, and once we get them all sucking up, let's get that big Merriweather coming up. Let's have him start. Okay, play action. Let's do a little dink right above his head, and it's done. Right, be the key. Right, we don't have to score 50 yards or 60 yards on a 5-6, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let them QBs and receivers sit on the.
Yep. All right. Well, hey, Mage, so what do you do when you see that quarterback's up there and the referee's just putting and placing the ball, he starts the clock, and he's got to run out of the box because Texas Tech is like, snap the ball. How does that affect the defense? You know, when you sit there and line up and it's like, hurry, 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 hurry. And you have to go. That affects your defensive alignment. If you remember in the Kansas game, okay, the alignment really messed up in the motions and the unbalance. And that's what Tech is, man. Misdirection. How is that going to affect when they get there and they're going, you know, trying to get 100 plays in for the game?
Well, you know, I hate to say it like this. I guess if you get too tired, fall down, fake an injury. You know what I mean? That's the only way you can really get around that because, you know, coming up to the line of scrimmage, calling plays. I mean, really, what can you do? You're just going to snap the ball. You're going to stand there because you're so tired. So I guess, you know, I guess you know you tired. You too tired. You might pass out. So around or something.
Hey, so is that what you did when Stonebreaker hit you, man? You're like, man, this dude's tough. I'm going out. Oh my gosh, that's great. You know what though? You're gonna have to probably see a little bit of that. I'm not gonna call it. I'm not gonna say anything, but I will tell you that when they try to go ahead and they try to push the ball, I mean, you see them on film. On film, it's 4th and 1. And they're snapping the ball within 5 seconds or 3 seconds of the ref setting the ball, and they're throwing screen passes out there. Bees, the secondary is not even aligned. They're not even aligned, man. How can you defend against that?
Well, you got set calls. You come out. I was just, and you're reading my mind, Wolf. I'm like, I was already thinking scheme. So I was thinking you have to have shell coverage the whole game. You have to have your corners basically playing outside leverage, bumping. Once in a while, your inside guys line up and press and show something different. Because a lot of these times, you got to go up there and disguise and not actually align in what you're going to align in. Because the guy upstairs in the box, he's looking. He's saying either quick, if you're not aligned, throw the ball to the screens. So we got to really start with a shell cover 2, show some things, and then roll up the opposite way. It has to be a lot of like confusing the offense.
Okay, hey, so Joe's, I'm going to go to you right now, but Darius, I want you to think for a second about how you're going to go ahead and replace those defensive linemen when they get tired. But heading back to you, Joe's, how do you go ahead and wear that defensive line out? We're talking about the Red Raiders wearing the Mountaineers out by going that tempo, hurry, hurry.
Well, I mean, I'm with these guys. The best defense for us is going to be an offense. I mean, we got to pound the rock. We got to establish our front, and we got to own the line of scrimmage, and that extends our drive. Time of possession now becomes a key because they can sting. You know, they run a lot of plays. They're averaging over 85 plays a daggone game. That's insane tempo. All right, so we've got to break that routine. We've got to break that tempo, and we got to come up with some big plays. Interceptions, as many balls as they throw around the field, we got to make plays out there in the perimeter and in the depth. I like what B said. You got to disrupt the route somehow and slow them down so that you can get your pass rush in there. I mean, they got 2 quarterbacks that are throwing the ball all over the place. They got an arsenal of wide receivers. Yeah, they're dangerous. I mean, you know, but again, I go back to the offensive line. And as an offensive lineman, Coke, you can attest to this, man. O-line wins games. You know, don't
Wait a second.
Don't get mad at me,
I have something to say about that one.
All right, but hey, again, we got to establish the line of scrimmage from an offensive standpoint, and we got to do battle in the trench. And I think it's going to be like last week. I think it's going to come down to our special teams play. I really do. I think special teams this week are going to stand out, and there's going to be 1 or 2 big plays in there out of our special teams unit. I mean, I don't think we've returned one yet for a touchdown. Have we? I haven't seen it. Have we run back yet this year?
Oh, but we got two pump blocks. I mean, we're doing some good things. We're covering really good. I think we're in the top 10 in punt coverage. So
Okay.
We are improving on special teams.
All right. Well, you know, that's going to stand out today. That's definitely going to stand out. I think that, you know, we're pretty evenly matched in a lot of the categories. When you look at us, you look at all the stats and stuff like that. From that standpoint, we're pretty evenly matched. So, you know, it's going to be who makes the least number of mistakes. And when you do make a mistake, I capitalize on it and I get out of there with something, whether it be a score or whether it be flipping the field or whatever. Make those guys drive the length of the field, and you know, we got to find a way to get some pressure on. We can't just let that guy stand back there and pick us off. We got to get some pressure to him.
Okay, now speaking of that, let's go to the master here, Darius Stills. D, hang on, go. Let me finish this out here. But D, you have to go ahead, and you got 2 quarterbacks that can run, that can extend the plays with their legs. You have quarterbacks that can throw the ball. You are having a hard time, you know, getting a substitution in there. How do you defend that? How do you logistically execute that?
I don't know. It's just really being and getting in the best shape you can, especially for this team. I mean, we played them. We didn't have that much time to substitute. And the only time we really had to was on someone like what Major said, it was honestly a game plan we had. And for me individually, so what I did was, you know, I worked on my, you know, getting in shape so well in the offseason that I could just play the. So I would, you know, say I played the one. You know,
Are you there? All right. A little bit of a technical issue right there, but hey, Coke, so what did you want to say? Yeah, I'm good now. I don't know. Schmitty keeps going in and out. Go ahead.
No more phones.
But and just the substitute one tech for somebody plays, and they sub out the defensive line, and then we come in. So really, I would just stay in the whole game. But just for the game playing wise, I would say just be in shape and just being able to. Texas, it's like 85 degrees down there right now, so that the heat really it.
But it's a dry heat.
It's really a disadvantage with having a tempo, and then the day just being able to be mental and just going through it. In my opinion, because you're gonna get tired regardless, So you got to really just be able to dig deep and just fight through it.
Okay, go. What did you want to say?
Well, I was going to add on about it, and wearing them down. So take a look at statistically has been on the field about 125 plays less than their offense, regardless of how good and strong they are up front. If we can get some sustained drives, right? Even pick up a little bit of tempo where they can't sub out. We can let exactly us become their number one enemy against their defense because they are not prepared for that. Other opponents are averaging about 28 minutes time of possession, 30 plus for Texas Tech. Okay, but it's 120. Let's figure out how to wear them down on defense. Go with a little bit of pace ourselves every once in a while. Let's go. Let's hold it up front. Build that tempo. We wear down their 9. Let's wear them down because they're not used to it right now.
So you're saying is that we should give them a little bit of their own medicine and go tempo like we did to Virginia Tech. Because if you can establish the running game, and I'm just trying to see if I'm getting it straight from you, okay, that I'm understanding it. Because what you're saying is that we can get that running game going, and when you hurry up and you go hurry, and it's guys that are colliding with you, Brian Joswiak, 300-pound plus guys that are giving a hurry look coming at you, and you have to stand defensively in the box and defend that run. It's wearing them down. Is that what you're saying, Coke?
Absolutely.
All right, Joes, go ahead and give me a spiel about that because you've been waiting all day. Go ahead and talk about this offensive line against this Texas Tech Red Raider defense.
Lean on them, baby. You lean on them. Mass versus mass. I'm with Coke. I love that. I love that piece where, wearing them down. So we got to extend our drive. We've got to find a way to. First of all, their defense gives offenses issues on first and second down. They are trying to put you into third and fourth down situations and drive you into a punch situation. They got a heck of a defense, man. Their middle linebacker is as good as it gets. They got a defensive end that comes off the edge and disrupts stuff all over the place. So again, what we've got to do is we got to lean on them. We got to run some zone. We got to pound that rock a little bit, but we got to put ourselves in real good second down situations. Second and short. We can't let them jam us up on first down and put us then into a situation where we have to throw the ball. I'd like to have a situation where we can throw the ball when we really want to throw the ball. Let's get that front going and the pace thing. When we're going pace and you got 320s coming at you, we can wear you out if you don't have the opportunity to sub in. So the tempo creates that is what they're doing, and I like that. That'd be fun to see if we put a little bit of hurry up in there and run that Indy offense and whack and get them a little on their heels, a little gassed, and again that takes a lot of punch out of that rush. Let's go ahead and battle up front, man. Lean on them, man. Lean on them.
Okay, so what I would like to do is I would like to say I want to give props. At the beginning of the year, I made some predictions that hardly ever come true. But I really thought that Darius's brother Dante would be one of the best players in the Big 12. I called him to be my defensive MVP. And the problem with Darius is that everybody's going against Darius. Dante. Everybody's going against Dante. Sorry, Darius. I knew I was going to screw it up one of these times. But, you had to go through that same situation. So I think it's just great. But the other thing I did is I said that this offensive line for the Mountaineers was going to be one of the best in the Big 12. And I said it's going to be the most improved in the nation. Now, I didn't say the best in the nation, and I didn't say the best in the Big 12, but they're definitely moving up, so they're going to be up there. We're going to say Zach Frazier. I'm going to say Wyatt Milam. I'm going to say James Gamitter. Doug Nesser, Jaquay Hubbard, man. Jaquay, he's coming on. And there's only one person that's played against these five guys, and that's right there. Darius, how good is this offensive line gotten?
Better. And you could just tell by the way they're walking around the building together, the team chemistry is through the roof. Team chemistry, as an offensive lineman, that just makes y'all even better. And people don't realize, you can have team chemistry, but at the same time, you're kind of doing your own thing. But as an offensive lineman, you're winning everything. So, and just seeing them walk around the building, like laughing, joking with each other, cracking jokes, that how much more comfortable they are around each other. And it shows the team chemistry of the building. And they're just going to keep on getting better and better. Compared to, the Big 12, I won't say young, but we're kind of in the middle. Zach's a sophomore, it's junior. There's a lot of juniors and no seniors except for Gamitter. So we're only losing one spot. And I say, what's his name? We call him Jay White. And he's
Jordan White.
Really,
he's back this week.
White. Yeah, Jay. So, and we're going to keep on getting better and better. I mean, team kills, and as they get stronger, faster, that bond gets bigger. They're going to keep on getting the best offensive line next year in the Big 12. So,
yeah. Absolutely. Hey, Coke, let's continue with that theme because I remember under your leadership as captain and older guy when I was a lineman, we would go in and have pizza every Thursday night as an offensive group. It was an all-you-can-eat. I think it was called Sante's, actually. And we'd go ahead and we would eat them out, and they'd be like, we want to charge you for 2 per person, because you guys, you're not one. Go, you remember that and tell me about being an offensive captain and of the offensive line and the group came together. We were 10 deep. I mean, when you think about 5 across, double time, 2-timer.
Yeah, definitely. I think the first 2 weeks we went, the restaurant thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Week 3, week 4, week 5, they had to bring a couple extra trucks in with food. But as we lived it was incredible because you're together so much that you're acting and thinking along the same lines without saying anything to each other. And as you look at last year's film on the offensive year's film and pay attention when they walk up to the line, you can almost close attention. You can see how they're just kind of looking at each other. And last year it was a head nod and then maybe they said something to each other. Probably, wait, what's the play again? Now it's gelling as they come up to the line. Again, it's not head nod, get down. They're staying on their double teams way better and chip times, which again, last year, timing, teamwork, you didn't see that happen. It's really gelling up front across the board, but that continuity and playing next to each other, your best friend, your soldier to go to war with. But when you break it down into segments and in the D line or the O line, that's like a whole, and it's really transcending what's happening up front. And last week was that looks like, and there's some other series and other games where it happened. Today's the day where I think across the board because the task is daunting, which means they're only going to come together stronger.
All right. Hey, Mr. Schmitty, how you doing, buddy?
What's up, man? I've been work.
Okay, man. I like your helmet there. A little bit off sync, but we're go ahead and jump in here when we're talking about the offense, the improvement of the offense, the offensive line, having to grind it out against this Texas Tech Red Raider team that is giving up 100, close to 150 yards per game in the run, 220 in the air. They're a lot better than what they have been in the past. But I think that running the ball is going to be the advantage for the Mountaineers on offense.
Yeah, that last week with Tony against Baylor. Like you guys were talking about, they're a hurry-up offense, right? So they have a lot of play. They're not really in that 70 range. They're more up in the 80 play range for play per game. Home down a little bit, wear that defense down, bring the game and control it. Also, we need to control the run. The pass will come. Obviously, we're hurting. Obviously, I think they have the advantage through the air there, but O-line right now is playing. Zach has got those guys communicating. They're playing very well, and are stepping up. Tony stepped up last week, had 163, I believe, and now we get CJ back. I'm sure they'll sprinkle him in a little bit of the mix, and 26 as well. So I think if we can control the ball on the ground today, down from being on the field as much, wear that defense down, and I think we're going to start up front. Like any game, Joe's will tell you.
All right. Well, listen. So this is what I think.
It sounds like the theme, Wolf. It sounds like the theme. We all said it.
Well, it is the theme, and we had the theme last time. If you remember, we were on the same thing. But here's the deal. Did anybody pick up, and Mage, don't go to sleep on me because we're going to go to JT Daniels here really soon, but did anybody pick up on the fact that the wide receivers, and we're going to get Poland Day, he's obviously the tight end that's in there, and he's blocking right along with it. But did you see the wide receivers blocking downfield on those DBs? What did TM do? Schmitty, you just said it. TM, all those big runs. You know why? Because I could have run there for at least 10 more yards. You know what I mean? It was that big because those wide receivers, they did an excellent job of blocking, and nobody's really talked about it.
Well, I think there's some big guys, Prather and Ford. There's some big dudes. They put some hands on you. Most of these DBs are 5'10", 5'11", 180, 190. They should be moving people out, and it's helping the whole offense. And then at the same time, it's helping them because now they can run these slants and body these guys up. These guys can't get around them to make these short throws. And that's, I think that's one thing when you talk about JT. But I'm going to go back to the O-line. I love our O-line. I think we all thought that was going to be a weakness, and that is the strength of our team right now, man. It's to watch that transformation from last year, I love it because, I actually got to meet some of the guys, and I'm like, man, I saw the attitude change. And it was they had so much pride into what they were doing this year, and it's really showing. The cohesiveness, the confidence is showing. You know what I mean? It's those guys are really the key to our success right now. But at the same time, I was about to say the play action is coming off of all this now. Now we got guys running down the middle, and it's all going to work together because JT can sling the ball. That dude is a first-round pick. I'm telling you, I see it.
Okay. Now, Bees, answer this. Any of you guys can jump in on this, but I said when JT threw that ball from the right hash all the way to the sideline, it dropped in right over the defender and right into Sam James' hands. Great catch by Sam, but he caught it right before the boundary. For it to be legal, it had to be a perfect drop-in. How many guys can make that throw? Bees? You there? I led you into it, man. I gave you a huge – it was a softball. It was a home run hit, man. Home run hit.
Oh, hey, I'm going to tell you, I have a great example. A lot of lot of people want to know the difference between a college or an NFL quarterback. The difference is the inches, how guys can put it exactly where they want, where in the NFL, every guy can do it. In college, a couple guys can do it. And like that throw, I was actually with Mike Collins last week, and man, we were watching the game together, and we're like, man, that is an NFL throw. It was like you couldn't ask for anything. You don't see that in too many quarterbacks in this year's class with that kind of touch and sitting in the pocket and the quick release. That's NFL material right there.
You know, Mage, let's talk about JT Daniels and what he's doing and how he's managing this team. You, Mage, were not a guy that threw the ball 40 times a game. But when you did throw the ball, you made big plays happen. You were a big play quarterback. But you also had to run the ball. Not only did you hand the ball off to your running backs, but you ran the ball quite a bit yourself. And I want to know is what does JT Daniels, what do you like about him? Because I see management in him. I don't see a guy looking to put his stats up to 400 yards. I see a guy trying to win the ball game, whether that's by running or by passing the ball. But with his brains, he's putting them in a position to do either or, but managing the game. All right, we lost Mage, but you know what, Schmitty?
Can you hear me?
You're an offensive guy. Let's go ahead. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, one of the blessings in disguise is that he played at a couple different schools, so he was a couple different offensive coordinators. So then once you put it all together, I think he's a well coached quarterback. You know what I mean? Like the one just missed the guy down the middle of the field. He knows where to go with the ball. You know what I mean? And he knew and had the guy coming up the seam, and we just missed that. So when I look at him, as a quarterback.
Yeah. What did you think of that throw? Did you see that throw, first of all?
Which throw?
The throw to Sam James out there on the boundary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, he makes all the throws. Like I said, like I said, a lot of times when you have a quarterback that's the coordinators, most of the time they at the same school. Whereas he, USC, and I just think, going to these different schools, and I guess he's with the transfer portal, it can help a quarterback because now you go and they might do things a little bit different, and it might open your eyes to something to see things a little bit different.
Yeah. Okay. Hey, so Bees, answer me this, Bees. Are you there?
I'm here.
Okay, you see a quarterback like JT Daniels, he can hand the ball off, he can put you in. You try to disguise as a defensive back, and he's seeing right through your disguises. How are you trying to defend this cat? What are you thinking about? I mean, let's just say you stop the run to minimize the pain from the run. Okay, now we go to the passing game. What are you looking at as a DB? How are you trying to fool him? Because he seems to really see those pre-snap reads he's very good at.
I mean, just got to be in communication with your other guys. I think a lot of things has to do with your football IQ and knowing where to align yourself. Like, I just look at it like you just got to keep playing your games regardless. You got to cat and mouse the whole game because you can't be static in this game. You can't show your hands. It's like poker out there where you don't want to just give a guy the read off the bat so he knows exactly where he's going. You want to make him make 2 or 3 reads so that your line can do their job and get to the quarterback. It's all coordination because when quarterbacks practice with their receivers, most of the time they don't have a guy in front of them so that they could ruin their timing and ruin the rhythm of the play. And as a DB, that's the one thing I always thought about, and I was always coached to do is put hands on the receivers so that you can mess up the timing that they worked on all week.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, is that Burley out there?
Is that who?
Burley, Brett Hunt.
No, he's not here. He's down in Ripley, man. I tried to get him here, but he ain't here.
All right, well, you
Zippy
tell
Shear
whoever that
walked
is to
in.
quiet down there.
Willie Edwards is here. Oh, I can't tell anybody to quiet down, man.
No, that one
Yelling.
guy. Tell him because I can't hear. I can't hear it. But here's Willie.
There he
Edwards, how you
is,
doing,
right
sir?
there.
It's crazy.
Doing good.
Willie, what do you got to say about this quarterback from Texas Tech? These two quarterbacks, maybe three, that are going to go ahead and try to go and throw the ball on you all day long and then tempo you out so you can't get a line right. You can't get your calls in. What are you going to do as a DB?
They got to get lined up.
All right, Willie. Well, sorry, buddy, but we can't hear. But we are so glad to have you. Next time, we'll hopefully get you a better connection, brother. All right. Well, we're going to keep it moving on here. We only got a little bit left. But we'll see it. All right. So, Joe's. Hey, tell Willie he just got booted, man. But the thing is, what do we got to do today? What do we got to do today to win? What do the Mountaineers have to do today? Give me your breakdown. Who's got to shine? What's your overall?
I mean, again, we're talking and we've talked about it, and I keep going back to the offensive line. I think that's going to be a real important aspect today, and they got to build on what they did last week. That's the big thing about building the season is each game you're taking a step further. So everything that worked last week, we gotta bring that to the table again, and then some. Again, that formula. Never look at that scoreboard, man. Take care of your business, do your job. Short-term memory, overcome it. We got to limit our penalties. We can't make dumb penalties in critical situations. We've got to stay focused, and I mean laser focused on doing our job and fighting the battle. I'm gonna go back on something that B said earlier about our wide receivers blocking. We're talking about offensive line blocking. Those wide receivers, if I get out there and I lean on that D-back a little bit, that's wearing him out physically. So let's take advantage of our big receivers, our tight end, get in there and get in them guys' face a little bit on the running game and wear them out a little bit so that now, their legs are a little juiced up and used up. And when I get out there on my route, I'm coming in there and I'm looking like I'm going to block you. And all of a sudden I run by you and we can make some big plays because when that DB thinks that the wide receiver's coming to junction him and block him, my thought process changes a little bit. It's just like on the offensive line. A run block and a pass block are two different kinds of blocks. So if you think that I'm going to pass set and I hit you in the mouth, right, or vice versa, if I hit you in the mouth thinking that it's pass, there's that play action. Now, if I hit you in the mouth, that RPO stuff, I hit you in the mouth, you're thinking run, and all of a sudden we're throwing the ball downfield. As a wide receiver, I'm coming up to junction that DB. He settles down a little bit, taking the block on. All of a sudden, I'm breaking off of that and doing my thing as a wide receiver. So I'm going to put it on. I'm going to put it on the offensive shoulders today. Yeah, we got to have big defense, but as an offensive group, we've got to manage the clock. We've got to manage the game. We got to put them in situations that they don't like to be in, make them make the mistakes, and, fight to the finish. That's the big piece, no matter what the score is. If they get up on us, and they could very well be up on us, 14 points pretty daggone quick. We can't never throw in the towel. That's why you don't look at the scoreboard. I don't care what the score is. It could be 100-0, and I'm going to fight your butt until the game is over. I'm going to fight to the finish. And if we all do that collectively, getting back to that offensive line, that group, they're gelling because they're hanging together. They're brothers. They're eating together. They're doing a lot of stuff together. Well, that permeates through the whole locker room. And once we get that, and we're so daggone close, man, this is the breakout game for us. This is the pinnacle game for us because it takes us then another step in that right direction on our way to a winning season and hopefully a big statement to Big 12 and getting ourselves to a bowl game. But one game at a time, Wolf. One game at a time. We got to have this one in the bank at the end of the day. And quite frankly, I really don't care what it looks like. I want the W. We got to fight through whatever it is we're dealing with, and we got to get the W. End of the day, right there. Get the W.
Okay, very good, Joe's great breakdown. D Stills, Joe says it's on the offense here. What are you thinking about being on defense? Because those RPOs that Texas Tech likes to run, well, it's frustrating as a defensive lineman when you think it's a run and you're playing against the run, and then they're throwing the ball. I mean, that's tough as a defensive lineman.
Oh, it's very, being in there happening. They can run one play, then same as play, next play looks the same as pass. Control the hurry up.
Okay. Well, then, Bees, let's move down. What are your thoughts on this, and what do the Mountaineers have to do to win? Sorry, D, we lost you, buddy, but go ahead, Bees. Break it down, man. Drop the football knowledge on me.
Me?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Okay. Well, offensively, I think we all kind of agree that controlling the ball, controlling the line of scrimmage is always the key to every game. It's like, man, what changes from last week to this week? Make the plays you're supposed to make. Cause turnovers on defense. Be tighter on our coverage. We can't be giving up those deep balls down the middle. I hope we correct that, because teams are going to repeat what they saw the last week. They're going to try you, and if you get it the first or second time, they're going to go to their other parts. So, keeping them off of structure in their offense by disrupting the routes, making it that instead of on a rhythm throw, he has to pump the ball. That's the one thing that when you think about a quarterback, if you make him pump the ball, your defensive line should be getting there by the second pump or the second pat. And that's going to be the key. The key is just going to be both lines, D-line and O-line, and then our secondary, hopefully collisioning, and our interior coverage. Not having guys in the same zones, getting some depth, making them earn drives instead of the big play drives. Making it that when they get into that, cross that 50, that's when the danger zone happens. That's when we cause turnovers. That's when we make our plays. They want to make the big plays, but we know, we said it earlier, 10%, make them drive, make them earn it. Because what do you say on a pass? There's only 3 things that can happen. He catches it, is it interception, or is it incompletion? 2 of them are good for us.
All right, Beast. Hey, Coke, what's your breakdown here, bro?
Got it. So let's keep it simple. Right? We don't have to be super creative. Punch them in the nose. Stay focused, because as we've talked about it the whole time, right? The whistle blows, they're getting set. We got to stay focused and be ready to go immediately, right? On the other side of this, run the ball, pepper in some tempo, and stay locked in until you hear the whistle blow. Sustain those blocks, that extra 2, 3, 4, 5 yards on every play. And then, special teams. Every special teams play matters, as we saw last week, right? And you go out on any, whatever you're doing on the special teams, you got the edge. You've gone up the number. You got to be locked in, no matter what, because it all matters.
All right, Schmitty, we're moving on down to you. Are you awake?
Yes, sir.
All right, brother. Go ahead and give us your keys for the breakdown for the Mountaineers to be victorious today.
Yeah, just kind of echoing. We got to win up front. The O-line's got to come to play like they have. Big game, Mathis, and hopefully with CJ and 26 getting sprinkled in there. Big day on the ground. Control that clock. Second plays, as Bees said, we got to bend, not break, and tough. Right, we got to be tough. We can't allow them to score points when we're down there in the red zone. We just got to play some good old-fashioned Mountaineer ball. We got to smack them and be ready, like they were saying about, their no huddle. They're going to want to play fast down and eliminate the time they're allowed to be on the field offensively. I think get some pressure on the quarterback. You know what I mean? If we can get him scrambling around, making some of these, but like Bees even said, we got to catch the ball. KP coming up, having another BFW. Hopefully he comes to play today, and plays right. Special teams is my biggest worry. We can't muff punts. We got to make solid plays on special teams. That's the biggest thing for me. That's kind of been where we've been lacking those 3 phases and create a couple turnovers. I think it'll be a good day. Years.
All right on, man. Well, I appreciate that. And, I appreciate you guys coming out here. Joe's, tell me about what's happening here for the rest of the time here at the Tap House with some Mountaineer legends.
Hey, Wolf, we're going to hang out. We're going to watch this game. Folks are starting to come in a little bit here. When we're done with our live stream here, we're going to have a little live show right here. We got some microphones, and the legends are in the house, and we're going to share some thoughts about our experiences here in Morgantown, playing during our years and such. And we're going to get a chance to talk a little bit more about the game with our fans here, and hopefully watch a heck of a football game, and we pull out that W. So, hey, thanks to Parmar for letting us be here at the Tap House, hanging out. We're right above it, right there. You can daggone near see the stadium. So come on over and hang out with us, man. We're going to talk some football and have a few laughs, and let's get a win.
Did that hurt?
Yes.
All right. Well, listen, guys, I want to thank you very much. Let's have some fun. Let's go Mountaineers and win. I'm going to tell you this, my keys real quick, and that's going to be, you said it, and defensively, don't bend, but don't break. When you get to the red zone, let that field be your aid. Let it go so they're scoring field goals instead of getting 6 points and 7 points for the touchdown. Offensively, run up their can. Run it right up. If it's 3rd and 6, run it up their can, because you can. All right, that's what I think about this defense. Special teams, we know. Schmitty, I tell you, that punt return, man, woo, catching the ball, I'll tell you what, that doesn't make you scared. I remember one time when Dana Hogerson put nobody back there. I mean, there was a time when it got so ugly, and you know what? I'm not saying it's that ugly. I'm saying I'm getting nervous every time somebody else punts the ball against the Mountaineers. So special teams overall, I'm going to give them a good grade so far. But you know what? You got to win in all 3 phases. You got to play complementary ball in all phases, because this is a team where you have to play complementary football because of what Texas Tech tries to do. So with that being said, man, come to the Tap House, the Mountaineer Tap House, right there in Morgantown, right above the Parmar store. And Parmar stores, if there's not a Parmar store near you now, there will be one soon, because they keep coming and coming and coming and coming. And they just keep multiplying, Joes. Multiply. And that's what the Mountaineers need to do today. Multiply that score offensively and shut it down, man, defensively. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Mountaineer Legends. Have a great show. We'll see you later.
See you, Wolf.
Let's go, Mountaineers.